Hello everyone. In last class, you have studied the deduction from gross total income and income from other source, isn't it? In that you have studied the meaning as well as practical problems. So now we are going to take a new chapter, that is capital gain unit 2. So let's move to the meaning capital gain. So capital meaning and basics of charges. So section 45 provides that any profits and gains arise from the transfer of capital assets affected in the previous year will be chargeable to the income tax under the head of capital gain. Capital gain shall be taxable in the previous year in which the asset is transferred. However, in some cases, capital gain is taxable in the previous year in which consideration is received rather than in the previous year in which transfer took place. Example, compulsory acquisitions by the government. So in this capital gain, you should know the meaning. The meaning is very, very important while doing a practical problem. Okay, so here it tells. Here tells that section 45 provides what they provides that any profits and gains arise from the transfer of capital assets affected in the previous year will be chargeable to the income tax under the head of capital gain. So in this meaning, this you should be concentrated, which is at section 45, and any profits or gains, okay, any profits and gains arise from the transfer of capital asset is called as capital gain. This point is very, very important. Okay, next, capital gain shall be taxable in the previous year. So your capital gain, it is taxable in the previous year. Next, in which the asset is transferred. So what is a taxable is in the previous year and in which the asset has been transferred. Next, however, in case capital gain is taxable in the previous year in which the consideration is received rather than the previous year in which transfer took place. Example, compulsory acquisition by the government. So this is a meaning about the capital gain. That is section 45. So this section you should be remember while doing while writing a theory part. So what is capital gain means you should write this section, that is section 45. That is very, very important. If you write this section like 46 means it will be wrong. The same section, that is 45, you should write, and you should write the profits and gains arise from the transfer of capital asset is called as capital gain. Okay. Next topic is that capital assets, section 2 subsection 14. So this is very, very important. So capital assets means any kind of property held by an assessee, whether or not is in connection with his business or profession. So business means any kind of business like trade, example, etc. And professions like medical, lecture, professor. It based on the business and profession. So the what is the capital asset means any kind of property held by an accessee. Accessee means individual person who is the owner of the person, whether it is whether or not in connection with his, whether in a business or profession. So business means there is no need while doing a business there is no qualification. You can do any business at any time. There is no time requirement. But in profession like medical field, they have certain time, certain rules and regulation you should be follow. And same thing, lawyer also you should follow the rules and regulation, and you have the qualification is very, very important. Okay, then any securities held by a foreign institutional investor which has invested in the securities in accordance with the regulations made under the SEBI Act, that is 1992. So SEBI Act is which year? In 1992. Okay, the capital assets, this section is section 2 subsection 14. That point you should be remember. So what is capital asset means? You should write section 2 14. So capital assets means any kind of property held by the accessee, whether or not connection with business or professions. Okay, that is very important. And you should know the SEBI Act in which year, that is 1992. So you have studied the capital asset as well as capital gain meaning. Okay. Next, assumptions to capital assets. So what are the assumptions in capital assets? Let's go through it. That is stock in trade. So stock in trade, consumable stores of raw materials held by the business of professions. So what is a stock in trade means? Consumable stores. It's a consumable stores of raw materials held for business or professions. Next, personal effects. The personal effects means any movable property held by the personal use by the accessee or for any department member of his family, but includes the followings like jewelry, archaeological collections, drawings, paintings, or any other work of art. Okay, or any other work of art. It's based on the personal efforts, the what he knows. So based on the hints what we can do, like jewelry. So he's very good in jewelry, he will put jewelry. And I think he has so many collection of archaeological, then he knows to drawing, painting, scriptures, or any other work of arts. Okay, next one is agricultural land in rural area. So agricultural land in rural area. Next point is gold bonds. Next one is special bears bonds 1991 issued by the central government. So 1991 issued by the central government. Next, gold deposit bonds. Okay, so what is a special bear bonds 1991 issued by the central government? So who is issued by the central government in which year? That is 1991, and year SEBI Act is 1992. Okay, this should be noted. So what are the assumptions of capital assets? One is stock in trade, personal assets. Next one is agricultural land in rural area, gold bonds, special bear bonds, then gold deposit bonds. So these points you should be noted. Next one is transfer, that is section 247. It includes like sales, exchange, and relinquishment of the assets. Next, extinguishment of any rights in the asset. So compulsory acquisition of any assets under any law. Next, conversions of assets into stock in trade by the owner. Any transaction is immovable property under section 53A of the Transfer of Property Act 1882. Any transactions which has affect the transferring or enabling the enjoyment of any immovable property. Yes, maturity or redemptions of a zero coupon bonds. So this comes under transfer, that is section 247. Next one is transactions not regarded as transfer, that is section 46 subsection 1, and the section 47 contains the transactions that do not constitute transfer for the purpose of capital gain. So some of them are the followings. So first one is any distributions of capital assets in the event of liquidations by a company to its shareholders. Any distributions of capital assets on the total or partitions of an HUF. Any transactions of a capital assets under a gift or will or or an irrevocable trust. Any transfer of capital assets by a 100% holding company to its Indian subsidiary company. Fifth point is any transfer of capital assets by a 100% subsidiary company to its Indian holding company. So this all comes under the transactions not regarded as transfer. That is section 46 subsection 1 and section 47. So this contains the 5 points you should note it. Next one is very important. In capital gains has divided into two. One is short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain. So while doing a problem, this it will be included. So the format is very important. So based on the question, we should make a we should write a format. Okay. So let's go through it. What do you mean by short-term capital gain? So short-term capital gain means the gain arising on transfer of short-term capital asset. So short-term capital gain means the gain arise the transfer of short-term capital. So there is a format. Okay. So particulars and to amount column. Sales consideration. In question they will give the sales consideration. So you should write the sales consideration amount less expenses to transfer, that is realization expenses like brokerage, commissions, any expenses, it comes under the expenses or transfer. Then write the amount column. Next, that is called as total. You do total. Okay, you should minus from the sales considerations to expenses, you will get net sales consideration. Okay, that part is very important. Next one is less cost of acquisition. So you have a format. Okay, so cost of acquisition and cost of improvement. So you should see cost of acquisition, how much the amount, based on that amount and based on you should apply the formula, and final you write the answer. Okay, then that is a short-term capital gain. Next one is less exemptions under section 54B, 54D, 54G, etc. You should see the any exemptions list. Okay, you should see and you should write the exemptions under that particular place, and then you minus it, and last you will get taxable short-term capital gain. So this format is very important while doing a problem. So once again, I will repeat. So first one is particular and to amount column. Then after that, sales consideration less expenses or transfer. In that realization expenses, any brokerage, commissions, any expenses, whatever it comes, you write it, and that is the net sales consideration. Next, you should see the, if question gives the cost of acquisition or cost of improvement, you see that, and based on that you should write a formula, that is cost of acquisition formula or cost of improvement, and you apply the formula, and you finally you will get answer that you should write in amount column. That is a short-term capital gain. Next one is you have the exemptions, that is less exemption under section 54B, 54D, 54G, etc. You should see the which are the exemption, that is NHBI bonds, like that. If the section 54 comes under this, you should see the question and you should see the which is the exemption one, you should write in exemption part, then you minus it everything, then you will get the final answer is taxable short-term capital gain. Okay, so this is very important, and you should know the long-term capital gain. So long-term capital gain is very important in some while doing a problem, right? So the long-term capital gain will be plenty of sums more than short-term capital gain. So you should remember the long-term capital gain, the format as well as meaning. So long-term capital gain means the gains arising on transfer of long-term capital assets, and you have the format, that is particular and to amount column. So first one is sales consideration, that is full value of consideration, you write the amount column. Okay, Then less expenses on transfer. Same thing has any brokerage commissions, any expenses you write in amount column. Next, net sales consideration. Next, less index cost of acquisition. So you should apply the formula, that is index cost of acquisition or in the indexed cost of improvement. You should see the question and you should apply it. Okay, so that is a long-term capital gain. And less exemptions under section 54, 54B, 54D, 54EC, 54F, etc. Then final you minus it everything, that is a taxable long-term capital gain. So you in this you should know that is index cost of acquisition. If the question gives the index cost of acquisition 40,000 and the fair market value is 50,000, if the question gives two, like cost of acquisition is 40 and fair market value it's 50, in that any one value you should take. Okay, in that whichever is high, the cost of acquisition is high or the fair market value is high. So which is that high? This fair market value is high, isn't it? That is 50, your cost of acquisition is 40. So this 50 you should take the value, that you should be noted while doing a problem. You will get to know that, very very important. Okay, so these are the things. So once again I will tell. So particular and two amount column. One is sales consideration, that is full value of consideration, there is no deduction, nothing. How much amount will be there, you write direct amount column. Next, after that, less expenses. If the question gives like sales considerations is 12,000 and brokerage 22% on sales consideration. So you should take the sales consideration, that is 12,000 into 10%. Okay. So you that is a brokerage value, that is 1,200. If once again I will repeat, if the question use like sales consideration is 12,000, okay, and the after that brokerage, that is 2% on sales, sorry, that is 10% on sales, not 10% on sale. So what you should do, so sales consideration is a 12,000, so 12,000 and the brokerage is the percentage has given 10, so what is 12,000 into 10%, you will get 1,500, that will be a brokerage. So you should write in amount column brokerage, that is 1,200. Or in case if the question you directly like sales consideration 12,000, brokerage's expenses is 1,200, then you write direct amount column. If they use some percentage, some value, means you should convert the percentage into amount. Okay, then after that you minus it, you will get that sales consideration. Next one is less index cost of acquisition and index cost of improvement. If question use the fair market value and index cost of acquisition, in this whichever is high, that amount you should take, and you should and there is a formula and you calculate and your final answer will get, you should write in amount column. Next you minus it, that is a long-term capital gain. After that, less expenses, less exemptions under section 54, 54B, 54D, 54EC, 54F, etc. And minus it, that is a taxable long-term capital gain. So this two formula is very very important while doing a problem. Okay. Next one is, what do you mean by sales consideration? In format they has given sales consideration. So this is very very important. So sales considerations, realization expenses. So realization expenses means, let this say the expenses on transfer, that is a realization expenses. Then you should know the cost of acquisition, meaning cost of improvement. Okay, let's go through it one by one. So sales consideration means the monetary value received from the buyer of capital asset is known as sales consideration. It may be in money or money in worth, or a combination of both. So here it may be a money or a money is worth, or a combination of both. Okay, so sales consideration means the monetary value received from the buyer, the monetary value what they receive from the buyer of a capital assets is known as sales consideration. Okay, that part is very, very important. Next one is realization expenses. The expenses incurred on selling or transferring ownership by a consideration of realization expenses like brokerage or commission or stamp duty, register fees, or any traveling expenses or deduction from sales consideration. It also includes legal expenses incurred on transfer capital asset. I already explained the realization expenses. If the question gives like brokerage, commission, stamp duty, register fees, or any traveling expenses or deductions from sales. Deduction from sales means I explained that if sales consideration gives 12,000 and the brokerage is from 10% on sales, so you should do what is that, you should do deduction. Okay, you should do deduct the amount into a percentage, then that value you should write in amount column. So that I already explained. So that is called as realization expenses. Okay, it also includes legal expenses incurred on transfer capital assets. So this you have studied now. So one is sales consideration, you have studied the meaning, as well as realization expenses. Next one is cost, indexed cost of acquisition. So index cost of acquisition, that is COA. COA means is the cost of acquisitions. So refers the expenditure incurred for acquiring the assets or completing in title of the assets. So index cost of acquisition means the cost of acquisitions adjusted according to the price value of the year of sales. So it has been adjusting the what is the price value of the year of sale. So there is a formula. This formula you should apply. Okay, this formula is very, very important. So index cost of acquisition, year of transfer. So cost of acquisition. Okay, so cost of acquisitions divided by cost influence index for the year of acquisition. Which date you have purchased, that date you should write. Okay, that year you should write. That is a purchase year. Okay, so what is the index cost of year of acquisition means that is a purchase year. So cost of acquisitions divided by cost inflation of purchase year into cost inflation index of the previous year. Okay, this is a formula that you should be noted. Is very, very important. So in the format you have cost of acquisition, and in the cost of acquisition you should apply the formula, then you will get a final answer. You should write in amount column. So this formula you should remember that. Once again I'll repeat. So cost of acquisition into cost inflation index of the previous year divided by cost inflation index of the year of acquisition purchase year. So this you should remember very carefully. Okay, this is a cost inflation index. So here already the question has mentioned this part. Once again, see this part. So cost inflation index of the previous year. So that is a percent. If question gives like that, okay, so you should write the, if question, this is a thing, the cost. See, that is a cost inflation value. So if the financial year index, so financial cost inflation index, that is a financial year, if that 2002 to 3, it's a like 100, 105, and financial year 2011 to 12, the index is 184. Then 2002 to 2003, that is 105. 2012 to 13, its a index is 200, and 2004 to 5, that is index, sorry, 2003 to 4, that is 109. That is 2013 to 14, that is 220. Next 2004 to 5, that is 113. So 2014 to 15, that is 240. Next 2005 to 6, that is 117. 2015 to 16, that is 254. 2006 to 7, 122. 2016 to 17, that is 264. 2007 to 8, 129. 2017 to 18, that is 272. 2008 to 9, 137. 2018 to 19, that is 280. 2009 to 10, 148. Financial year is 2019 to 20, that is 289. And 2010 to 11, 167. Here there is no financial year they mentioned. Okay, so financial year. So now we will prevent this value, that is 2019 to 20. The amount, this is the 289. In question they will give like CII. So CII is cost influence index. So in question they will give CII, the year is 2019 to 20, and they'll give like 289. So based on the question, based on the format, you should apply it. Okay, so this is a format. So cost of acquisition 40,000. Okay, right, 40,000. If question gives like 40,000 divided by cost influence index in the year of acquisition. So in the year of acquisitions, like can you like 113. Okay, 2004 to 5 index the amount is 113. So divided by 113. Okay, into this 2019 to 20, the value is 289. So you will get 1,200. That value you will write. You should write in the amount column. So you no need to make attention while doing a problem. I will go through it. Okay, so this we have to go through it. Next one is treatment of assets acquired before 1/4/2001. So cost of acquisition, if an asset is acquired before 1/4/2001, then its cost of acquisition shall be higher than the following. So A, actual cost of acquisitions ignoring cost of improvement incurred before 1/4/2001, or the fair market value of the assets as on 1/4/2001, that is section 55. Okay, next assumption, the option is not available in case of assets on which the depreciation is allowed under section 52, subsection 1, subsection 2. Self-graduate assets other than bonds share. Okay, next is cost of improvement, that is any cost of improvement incurred by the accessee or the previous owner before 1/4/2001 shall not be considered. Inductions, where an asset is acquired before 1/4/2001, then induction benefits shall be avoidable from the year 2001 to 2. Okay, these are the tax treatment. These are the treatment of assets acquired before 1/4/2001. Next one is cases whether inductions benefits is not available even on transfer of long-term capital assets. So debenture or bonus. So in case of transfer of bonds and debenture other than capital, index bonds issued by a government or sovereign global bonds issued by a RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, and the sovereign gold bond schemes 2015, that is section 48, that comes under debenture or bonds. Okay, next is slump sale. So transfer of any undertaking or divisions in a slab sales section 50B. Okay. Next one is equity shares and equity oriented funds transfer in the section 112A. Certain transactions by a non-resident in case of a non-resident capital gain arising on the transfer of shares in or debenture of an Indian company acquired in a foreign currency. Transfer of global depository receipts, that is transfer of global depository receipts purchased in foreign currency by a resident individual being employee of an Indian company, that is section 115A CA. Okay. This comes under induction benefits not available even the transfer of long-term capital assets. Next one is treatment of advance money received and forfeited, that is section 5. So any sum of money received as an advance, otherwise in the course of negotiations for transfer of capital assets shall be taxable as income from other sources. So first point is such sum is forfeited, and the second point is the negotiations do not result in transfer of such capital asset, that is section 56 subsection 2. Okay. Next one is capital gains on conversion of capital assets into stock in trade, that is section 45 to subsection 2. So capital gains, there is a conversion of capital assets in the stock trade. Okay, so let's go through it. The conversion of stock capital assets into stock in trade shall be treated as transfer under section 247. So sales consideration. In here, the assets, capital asset is fair value as on dates of such conversions. Next, cost of acquisition, cost of improvement, expenditure on transfer, that as usual. Yes, induction benefits available, if any, that's till year of conversion. Next one is taxable in the year in which such stock is actually sold. Tax rate as applicable in the year of actual sales of such stock. Treatment of difference of actual sales value and fair market value as on date of conversion, that is actual sale value, that's a fair market value as on date of conversion. Expenditure on transfer shall be treated as business income. So these are the comes under the capital gain on conversion of capital assets into stock in trade, that is section 45 subsection 2. Next one is computation of capital gain in case of depreciable assets. If the depreciable assets, that's section 50. Okay, so capital gain arising on transfer of depreciable assets shall always be a short-term capital gain. Induction benefits cannot be claimed on such assets. Depreciable assets itself may be a long-term capital asset or short-term capital assets, depending upon the period of holding, whether held for more than 36 months or not. However, gain on transfer of affordance, depreciable assets shall always be short-term capital gain. So this comes under the depreciable assets, that is section 50 in the capital gain. Next one is capital gain in case of bonus share. Capital gain in case of bonus share, that is a tax treatment on transfer of bonus share shall be has under, that is sales consideration as usual, expenditure on transfer as usual, period of holding, that is starts from the date of allotment of such shares. Next one is cost of acquisition. In bonus share are allotted before 1/4/2001. In bonus share are allotted on after 1/4/2001. That is a fair market value of such share has on 1/4/2001, and NS column is a nil. This is considered bonus share in case of capital gains. Okay. Next one is capital gain on transfer by way of compulsory acquisition, that is section 45 subsection 5. When any capital assets is acquired by the government, capital gain is taxable in the previous year when the compensation is first received and not when the asset is acquired. If compensation is further enhanced, it is again the taxable on such amount on receipts basis. But this time our cost of acquisition or cost of index, that is COA and COI, will taken as nil. This both will taken as nil. Any expenses for gathering and hence compensations can be deducted as expenses on transfer. Okay, so this comes under the capital gain on transfer by the way of compulsory acquisition. That is a section 45 subsection 5. So we have studied the capital gain in case of bonus share. So capital gain in case of bonus share, there's a tax treatment of bonus. You should go through is that one once again. Next one is computation of capital gain in case of depreciable asset, that is section 50. Next one is capital gain on conversion of capital asset into stock in trade, that is section 45 subsection 2. Okay, next one is treatment of advice money received and forfeited, that is section 5. So these are you should be go through it. And next problem that let's. So this is the theory part we have completed, and the problem next class I will complete it. So you have studied in theory part the main concept is format. So that two format you should be go through it. Okay, then only we can solve a problem. Okay, that two format is very important. Then you should know the capital gain meaning, capital assets meaning, and you should go through the sections 45 subsection 5. Then you should know the section 50, which are the things will come, section 45 subsection 2, that you should be go through it. So finally I completed the theory part, and problem next class I will complete. Okay, so